Hello, beautiful people. Welcome again to another reading. I've been called to do a reading for this week, even though we're into Tuesday now, so I'm a little bit late. But I've been called to do just a quick reading, hopefully, for this week. The message that I'm getting through right now is to say to take stock this week. Just observe what's going on around you. This isn't a week to be pushing hard with anything. We've got goals. We've had a lot of, there's been a stagnant period where we've had to maybe people have been experiencing the hermit a bit, where you've kept to yourself and had to reflect. And now it's like, oh, I'm out of that, fantastic. But just this week, we're being called to just use it to observe what's going on around you and take stock of the resources you have available to you before you take action on anything. And that also means if there are some influences that are coming in, or people we have to deal with, or situations, unexpected situations that we are faced with this week, to stop and take a breath, because your natural instinct is because of the state that we're in currently, and astrologically, the energies are such that we may act or respond impulsively, whether we've had enough about a situation, or we've what's coming to the challenge before us is something that really triggers us, or whatever else. So to actually stop in your tracks, take a breath, step aside, walk away, whatever you need to do to create some space for yourself, so that you've got the ability to prevent yourself from responding or acting in a way that you may regret later on. So take the time out to take in a breath and center yourself and ground yourself, calm yourself. Don't react. And then when you come from a place of peace, then you can trust. You'll be more inclined to be happy with the way you respond to the situation or the person. If you just take a breather and come back to center, don't react, and take a breath. That seems to be the sort of theme this week, is to chill out, don't react, take a moment, collect yourself, and then come from a centered place and not a triggered place, if that makes sense. Just shuffling the cards. Okay. So we have the moon in the current position, the hermit as the influence. Distant past, we've got the star. Recent past, the lovers. Future influence, the chariot. Mentality, the hanged man. Snapshot of your life is the sun. Hidden fears and desires, the fool. And then we've got the potential end result being the emperor. Oh, I think I missed the world for immediate result. So a lot of us this week still going through processing our emotions for the stuff that's happened in the past. Things were good some time ago, or there at least was the illusion that it was. And then there would have been a tower moment in between here, and there's been a focus on so what I mean by tower moment is some maybe startling or shocking, unexpected realizations that kind of put you on a different course in terms of your thinking or your life or your relationship. And so more recently there's been focus on relationship again. Could be for some new union, but I feel like more recently there's been focus on the relationship, and I believe that it's about the healing from a relationship that was, and that's why we've got the moon card here. So there's still maybe a lot of unanswered questions, and still this process, and I'm saying still because I know it's been some time for some people, this process of trying to do your emotional bookkeeping and just sort it out, feel what you have to feel, and just still trying to move through our emotions. Okay. And you're actually being encouraged. The influence, current influence is the Hermit. So I've mentioned that just before. We feel like we've been in that energy for a long time, where we've had to detach and take time to ourselves to reflect and to heal, to look at our own insights and shed our own light on what we perceive are our problems or challenges at the moment. And so you're being encouraged to do more of that this week. It's like we've been sort of riding along, we've over the mountains, and we're through the worst of it, is what Spirit wants to say to you. We've come over the mountains, we've been doing all that climbing and all that stuff, and then we felt like we're good now, right? And then there's either a plateau. This is this week. There's either a plateau or a little bit of a dip down, but we're not descending. Sometimes we have to revisit. We've gone through such tremendous shifts in our awareness, in our self-awareness, in our awareness of our lives, that Source gives us opportunities then to stop and look over our shoulders, to look back over our shoulders. And that is to look at things that have happened in the recent past and even distant past, because a lot of people who are dealing with stuff that happened with them in their childhood or, first few decades of their lives that have affected how they think and feel today, and they're reassessing that. If you're doing that, good on you. But so we get to, after all these lessons we've learned, we get to reassess, look at what's happened in the past through today's eyes, through your new lens. Yeah? And that's a lens of empowerment. You may not feel very empowered right now because the energy sort of dipped. But it's what I'm trying to tell you is that the dip has happened because you need to take some rest, or you need to focus on yourself. You need to allow yourself time and space to do some more processing, okay? And by doing that and reflecting, by doing that, you will create space within you for when the sun comes out again. Yeah, this is the moon, we wait for the sun. It's always the next day, right? So don't let yourself feel like down in the dumps. That's like, I thought I was past this. No, just keep moving, go with the flow. Keep moving, do your self-care, do some gentle exercise, do some, have some rest, meditation, hydrate, good nutrition, take care of yourself, dress well, groom yourself, whatever it is that you do or that you know you need to do. This is a week to do it. It's not a week for pushing hard and fast. Okay? That's coming. So if you take this advice, you're going to feel much more balanced. So we get the World card where you get, you come to some sense of finality about a cycle that's been playing out. You come to some kind of, I don't want to say ending, but it's like the end of an old cycle. So if there's been patterns of behaviour that you've been exhibiting, or your perception is that the world keeps giving you the same theme, by going with the flow and reassessing and reflecting, allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel, I feel like there'll be pivotal moments of just like, they won't be like big mind-blowing stuff. It will be just pivotal moments. You'll feel more than be conscious of. You'll feel the pennies dropping in the back of your mind, right? It's a recalibration that's going on. And things will start to make sense to you over time. But it's kind of like ending old patterns of behaviour, ending old perceptions that we have about ourselves and about our lives. We're no longer trapped or caught in a certain way of thinking or perceiving ourselves or our lives. So we can continue to enjoy the freedom that we've gained and the empowerment that we've gained through going through all of the lessons that we've been going through the last 6 months. And just allow yourself to just ease into things, okay? The influence that's coming, so sort of later in the week, that's when it's time for action and movement, okay? So around, by Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday, you might feel like someone's lit a bit of a fire under your bum. So what this process does is it opens up the door for us to see more clearly where it serves us to place our energies, our focus, our attention. So really I had a phone call this morning and the person was saying, oh geez, life's just getting harder. And I said, if you choose to see it that way, then that's what you'll experience. I said, what is it that you're talking about in particular? Oh, people's cars are getting robbed and this is happening and that's happening. And I said, that's always happened. If you're watching certain programs or listening to certain programs, you're going to see more of it, and that's going to be the focus. Then you walk around through your day with this pessimistic view of what's going on in the world, and so does your neighbour and your neighbour and their neighbour. Okay? So we need to reassess where we place our attention, where we place our energy, with whom as well. So it can be people or programs or particular types of music or environments, and move ourselves gently away from things that no longer serve us. Okay, that's going to become clearer to you. There's no need, as I said earlier, for drastic action, for reaction, for impulsiveness, but just be gentle with yourself and your environment, and just allow yourself to see where you can do better elsewhere, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean ending anything with anyone or anything like that. It just means I'm going to put less time and energy into this, whether it's a person, place, program or whatever, or music, and I'm going to put more energy into this because this feeds me. This makes me feel good. Yeah? Or this doesn't put me off kilter where I'm feeling upset or concerned or this, that and the other. Really start to see how we feel in the gut and spend more time with, in environments or enjoying things or people that make us feel good, where we can feel at ease and at peace with ourselves rather than constant challenge and fear. The attitude is good. It's in line with what's been suggested to you, what's been suggested for you to do is to hermitize, to take some time out for yourself. And the hangman is in line with that, because the hangman is just hanging back and chilling. So that's the attitude that you are carrying, or at least should be carrying at this time to get the best out of this week. And so the hangman is having their own epiphanies through their observations, but they're not actively getting involved in what's going around them. They're observing. So exactly the advice I was, or not advice, but exactly what I was talking about before, where you don't feel an urge to get involved. You just do your own thing and observe what's going on. You don't feel obliged to get involved in everything that's going on around you, just observe. Snapshot of your life, and let's see here, we have the moon and we have the sun, and they're opposites, right? This is stuff's hidden and it's not fun. We're processing emotions, but what's happening in your life is that while there are still challenges, there will always be challenges, there actually is more joy in your life now than what you had before, several months ago. There's actually more freedom. There's actually more opportunity for you to enjoy your freedom and have more joy in your life. So if you're not doing that, if you're not doing things that bring you joy, which is what I was saying before, then do it. But we feel like this, but we're actually in a good space. Things are actually better than what they were before. Okay? Some of you are feeling the urge to just want to get away from everything and everyone around you, wanting to embark on a new journey, wanting to put energy into something new for yourself. This is about self. This is not about others. Surely, certainly, others may benefit from the things that we do for ourselves, but there's still the initial spark of what you're wanting to step towards is about you, and it's about yourself and being it's life path. We're getting clearer and clearer what our life path is, what our purpose is in this life. We're getting closer and closer to more clarity around what brings us joy, and what to move away from, and what we want to do next. So take gentle steps towards that and observe as you go along, whatever your goals are. When you observe as you go along, rather than putting the blinkers on and just pushing forward with something, being stubborn about, I'm going to achieve this because once I achieve this, everything's going to fall into place for me. And don't have that thinking. I'm excited by the potential of this. I'm going to step towards this. I'm going to put my energy and creativity, my creative expression towards this end result or this goal. But I don't place emotional weight on it happening. It doesn't have to happen in order for me to be happy, because I'm happy now and today, and I will continue to be happy as I use my creative energy to step towards this goal. Does that make sense? Once you don't put the blinkers on, so you're not cutting off your peripheral vision, you're able to stay aware of all of the variables going on around you, and then you're able to test the waters, feel things out as you go along, rather than being headstrong about, I just have to do that. And then what happens is, when you do it this way, is you get to actually tweak the end design, or the design of the end result, if that makes sense, as you go along, because you're watching all the variables and what's going on around you. So then once you get to that result, it's more likely to serve you and bring you the happiness more joy and happiness, or make things easier for you if you have tweaked the design as you go. I hope that makes sense. And just remember, like, this is not a time for like being headstrong or reactive or impulsive. I wanted confirmation on what I've been saying, and it's the Magician, which is all about manifesting exactly what you want to happen. So do it, but do it in a way where you're taking gentle steps towards your goal, tweaking the design of the goal as you go based on what you're observing in your environment, in your life, in that industry, or whatever it is, if that makes sense. And then you're getting a big nod from Source that you can achieve what you want to achieve. Just do it in a gentle way, non-aggressive. The sort of end result that can be expected from all of this week. So it might be this is a long-term plan. For things that you want to happen in the next few months. It'd be great if it happened tomorrow, but you know that it's a longer plan. It could be a year. It could be tomorrow, but I just feel like some people have got longer term plans. So just knowing that you've got, if you do things in a sustainable way, you'll have the fortification and the energy to be able to consistently make those gentle steps forward, rather than I've got to do it, I've got to jump over there right now, and you land on your butt because you haven't planned, you haven't observed what's going on around you, you haven't done your research or whatever it is. Okay, and go with your intuition. End result is, if everything goes, we all have the power of our own will that plays out in our lives. So if everything goes to plan here, what can be expected is being in a place where you really have learned a lot of things this week. You've learned more about yourself, you've learned more about life, or you've learned more about the environment in which you're working or living, if that makes sense. You will be in a place of, it's a sense of achievement, and it's also a sense of very grounded relief that some things that you've had to deal with are now dealt with. So there's that finality again, the closure of old cycles, or doing something you've had to dealing with something that's been needing your attention for some time. So it is a success card. Success, joy, hanging loose, moving away from things that no longer serve us, being kind to ourselves, giving ourselves time and space to process our stuff and reflect and learn. Right, so I was called to pull out a card on the Lovers. I feel like for some people, this stuff is still on your mind. Whatever's been happening in your relationships is still playing on your mind, and they want to give you a sense of awareness around there's transformation occurring, rebirth occurring. So this could be taken in line with the Chariot, as in move on, more towards what brings you joy. But I think it's more about your personal journey. So that will be for some people. You do what's right for you using your own discernment. For some people, this is about your personal journey through the trials and tribulations, the challenges of being in a relationship that has placed you on a more spiritual path. It's placed you in a position of more clarity in terms of your direction, prioritizing your needs, wants and desires over what you perceive other people want you to do. Okay? But very positive. I hope that puts some people in good stead for the week. I'm sorry it's a day late, but yeah, it's very positive. So just tread lightly, and see what comes into your awareness. Take a breath and respond with. It's not stoicness, but it's like come from a relaxed place rather than a reactionary one. Okay, have a great day. I'll see you next time. Thank you.